Hey everybody, so today we are making a yummy Mexican dish called tostadas. We're starting with some canola oil. I just put about 2 or 3 tablespoons in a frying pan and I'm letting it warm up, and as it warms up I'm moving it around the pan. Remember, if you want to see how much this meal cost me to make, feel free to stay until the end of the video. So now I'm just gathering all the supplies I'll need. In this recipe I use black beans, garlic, onion, flour, oil, salt, a little bit of warm water, and then spinach, corn, and tomato. So here the onion is going into the pan. I used a quarter of a white onion, a sweet onion, and I'm going to add garlic to the pan now. I'm using about a tablespoon of garlic in this. Really just do it by taste. If you want more garlic, add more garlic. If garlic's not your thing, well, maybe add a different spice. Maybe add a little bit of a chicken stock or a chicken bouillon. I wouldn't add chicken stock, add some chicken bouillon. Or maybe you want to jazz it up a little bit and you've got other spices in your kitchen. Really, feel free to experiment. That's all cooking is, and that's all that the joy of cooking is experimentation. So here I'm just cooking down those onions. I really want them soft before I add the black beans, so I'm cooking them down. I'm breaking them up if they're stuck together. You can watch me here, like, no real rhyme or way to do it. I'm turning the heat down on that pan so that the onion doesn't burn. That's the one thing I forgot to mention. We are going to use some chili powder. I do want some kick to this dish. If you don't have chili powder, like maybe you got a can of like those Mexican hot peppers from the food bank, you can use hot peppers. Just chop them up really fine and don't use the seeds. The seeds will add a kick. We're going to use 2 cans of black beans in this recipe. 1 can we're going to drain, and 1 can we're going to leave the liquid in. The liquid is going to create like this nice sauce for us. So we really want that sauce in this recipe, otherwise the black beans are going to get way too dry and they're not going to be edible. So I'm still cooking down those onions and that garlic, and my kitchen at this point smells amazing. Like, I love the smell of onion and garlic cooking. Like, it is the best thing ever. And if you don't have canned black beans, like let's say you got a bag of dried black beans at a food bank or something, you can soak those black beans overnight. That will take a little bit more prep, but if you soak them overnight, you're going to put them in a bowl and add about 3 inches of water over top of them. They'll be good to cook. Again, just reserve about a cup and a half of liquid from that water to put in your black beans in the pan. Yeah, so here we are opening the black beans, and you'll see I take 1 can to drain. It's really easy to drain a can of black beans. Just open it halfway and then crack the lid a little bit while it drains. I'll come back in a moment and you can watch me add the black beans to the pan. We're going to let the black beans cook until they're soft. We don't want crunchy black beans in this recipe. Honestly, that is a texture nightmare. Okay, here I am opening the rest of the can after it's been drained. These are a really good source of protein. Like, I just looked at the label as I was opening it. 6 grams of protein per half a cup. That's really good. I think in each can, there's probably about a cup and a half of black beans. So each can has 18 grams of protein. And that's really what I'm all about on this channel, is cooking healthy, nutritious meals that's going to get you all your nutrients and doing it on a budget. Okay, you want to scrape out those cans of black beans. We don't want to leave any black beans in the cans, because that's just a waste of food, and we don't want to waste food. There's enough food waste in the world as it is. So I'm going to throw away those cans of black beans in a moment. We want to clean up as we go to make things easier later on Dishes are hard enough. We don't want to have to clean the entire kitchen as well. So now I'm just cooking down those black beans, really mixing in the onion and the garlic. And I do believe in a minute I'm going to add the chili pepper as well. Or the chili powder, not chili pepper. Yeah, there we go. I add the chili powder. And again, just go by taste. If you don't want it so spicy, add less. If you want it more spicy, add more. It really depends on what you want to eat and what's going to bring you joy. So now I'm just stirring them all around, getting that chili powder incorporated. So I'm skipping ahead here a little bit. I made a flour tortilla base, and I'll have the recipe shown in a minute. I tried to film it, but the filming didn't work. But I'll have the recipe shown in a minute. And basically what you're going to do is, instead of rolling out individual tortillas, because that takes time, and that is just a hassle for tostadas, you're going to roll out the dough. I tried to do it on a sheet pan, but it didn't really work because the rolling pin isn't too big, or isn't big enough. So I take away the sheet pan and I start rolling it out on my stove after I give it a good wipe down. And you're going to want your tortilla crust about a 1/4 inch thick, an 1/8 to a 1/4 inch thick. And once it's big enough, you might need help transferring it to a sheet pan. I get my roommate a couple of seconds later in the video to help me transfer it to a sheet pan, and I'm glad she walked in when she did. And she was filling her water bottle, so I just got her attention. Yeah, so we transfer it to the sheet pan, and then I take it from her. I stretch out the tortilla shell so that it's fully on the sheet pan, and like the sheet pan's fully covered. And then I take a paring knife and I split the tortilla into 6 pieces. This recipe makes 6 servings. I will admit I ate 4 of those servings myself, 2 for supper and then 2 the next day. It is delicious. Pull a little bit of cat hair off the pan. You might need to cut from the inside out with the tortilla shell, but here are the finished tortillas. They are, let's see if the recipe pops up. Yeah, there we go. 2 cups of flour, teaspoon salt, 2/3 cup warm water, and 5 tablespoons mild oil. Now, like I showed you, you're going to roll it out, transfer it to a cookie sheet, and then you're going to bake at 325. You don't want to bake it any higher than that because you don't want to burn the bottom. And then you're going to broil it on low for 5 minutes after baking it at 325. You don't want to broil it on high because you're going to burn the tops. You want to broil it on low. So this will just make sure that the top gets brown like it's shown, and it'll allow the tortilla to become crispy. This is not a soft tortilla recipe, it's a crispy tortilla recipe. We want crispy tortillas. Alright, so we're back with the beans. We're going to keep cooking the beans down. I think they've pretty much gotten soft here. So what I end up doing is grabbing a potato masher. If you don't have a potato masher, a couple of forks will do, but I highly suggest you get one. So we mash the beans. Now we don't want pureed beans, so don't put them in a blender or anything, but we want mashed beans so that, some of the beans are mush and there are still bean pieces in the dish. So we mash the beans up, and don't feel like you have to do this perfectly or in any way. Any way you want to do it is fine. So our beans are all mashed up. And I'm just going to give them a good stir, and they're going to cook down a little bit more. That way all the juices that were just released turn into this nice thick sauce. I'm a real big fan of sauces. So now I'm just going to gather everything else we need for the tostadas. And I'll show what we use on video here. So we're going to use a whole can of kernel corn. And basically what you do with the corn is you don't add it to the black beans. You use it as a topping. Instead, you're going to drain that can of corn because you don't want the water in it. So I take it over to the sink and I drain it. And also as toppings, I had cut up a tomato, and I had some baby spinach that I got from the food bank. So we're going to use that for toppings as well, and that's going to be our veggies for the day. So I think those black beans are just about done. I'll turn them off in a second. Yet they look just about done. So yummy. And right now I'm just going to go to the fridge and grab the spinach and show you the spinach. But of course I have to taste it just to make sure it tastes good. And it passed the taste test. I guess I still have the tortillas in the oven as well. So I turn the tortillas off. I grab my makeshift pot holder as well. And there I turn the black beans off. So here's this baby spinach. I got it from the food bank. It's just on its last legs, but it'll work. And here are the beans, what they look like when they're done. See how rich and saucy they are? So good. That's what you want the beans to look like. And see how there are pieces in there and they're not really all that mashed? That is just like the perfect consistency. So I'm going to move those off the heat so they stop cooking. And this is what a tostada looks like. Now you can use whatever veggies you have. So if you don't have corn, don't have tomato, don't have spinach, you can use mushrooms, you can use cucumbers, you can use olives, just whatever you have. But the total cost of my tostadas, the onion was 47 cents. The oil was 14 cents. Now, I get a big jug of oil, which cuts down on costs. The black beans, I purchased the black beans, but you get them from the food bank a lot too. The black beans were $2.74. This brings the total cost to $3.35 for 6 servings of food. That is crazy, considering that's the cost for 1 serving when you get one of those meal kits. So this is a huge savings. It literally took a bowl, a pot, or a frying pan, and a cookie sheet. Very low maintenance. So yeah. Thanks for watching. See you next time.